Good afternoon. Welcome to the Gadsden City Council meeting. I would like to remind everyone to please make sure that all cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position. Also, please be advised our City Council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T UVerse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Latham.
Present.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilman Avery.
Here.
Councilman Back.
Here.
Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Councilwoman Minatra. Here. And Councilman Robinson is absent today. We have a quorum present and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Councilman Smith to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
What was our heart for prayer? Lord, we come to you now the humblest way we know how. Come with bowed heads and humble hearts. Looking unto you, you're the author and the finisher of our faith. Realizing we need your Holy Spirit to lead us and to guide us, oh God. And we realize the word tells us the power that be, they're ordained of God. And we talk to pray for those even in authority. So God, even throughout this meeting, we ask that you lead and guide us. And God, we just need your divine intervention as we attempt to lead the city, God. And God, we're leaning on the arms of Jesus. God, we just thank you in advance for what only you're able to do. We give you every bit of the praise, every bit of the glory. We give you all of the honor. We ask it all in Jesus' name. All that agree say amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Public Works Committee work session and City Council meeting held on February 14th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
Item 6, the chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of accounts for the week of February 10th through the 16th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Item 7 is proclamations and commendations. Mayor, I believe you have some.
Thank you, Mr. President. And would Mr. President make his way down here too, please?
Sure.
These are people from your area. Could I ask Mr. Everett Roberts, William Roberts, who are better known as Lee Roberts' nephews, and his parents, Andrew and Kathy, are here today. And then Nitin, if y'all would come down. So if y'all felt a lot smarter in this room today, it's because of these three people right here. So on behalf of the City of Gadsden, it is my honor to congratulate and recognize Mr. Nitin Nagaraja, Mr. Everett Roberts, Mr. William Roberts for their outstanding academic achievements and being named National Merit Finalist. The National Merit Semifinalist is a recognition that belongs to the top 1% of students taking the PSAT. The academic accomplishments over the years are impressive and deserve recognition. Mr. Everett Roberts obtained a GPA of 4.0 and is ranked number 1 out of 311 students. Everett, you beat your brother. Earned a score of a 35 on the ACT, earned the College Board AP Scholar Award, and has applied to the University of Alabama, where he will be majoring in business or finance. Mr. William Roberts obtained a GPA of 4.0 and is ranked 2 out of 311 students, earned a score of 33 on the ACT, earned the College Board of AP Scholar Award, and has applied to Auburn University, where he will be majoring in engineering. Smart boy, William War Eagle. Mr. Nitin Nagaraja attained a GPA of 4.0 and is ranked 4 out of 311 students, earned a score of 35 on the ACT, and is one of 2 students selected to serve on the Gadsden City School Board Accreditation Committee, earned the AP Scholar with Distinction Award, and has applied to Duke University, University of Chicago, and Ivy League schools majoring in biomedical engineering. All 3 students are also athletes and are committed to community service. They have not only excelled academically, but also have a heart for serving others, as evidenced by their involvement in our community. May God bless you and you find your place in the world and make a difference. You are our future. Thank y'all, you young three men, and we'll ask y'all to say a few words. And I see Kevin Young up here, the principal too, but come on in here, come on.
My name is William Roberts. I'm a senior at Gadsden City High School. I'm a triplet. Some of you know that. I know city attorney here does. But this is my brother Everett, and then I have another brother named John Hiller. We have one older sister who is a senior at Alabama, and she's about to go to medical school. So she is one of the main reasons that my parents have pushed me the way they did, because I'm going to be honest, if it wasn't for my parents, I would not have the grades that I have. But I'm very thankful for them, and I'm thankful for all the great teachers I've had, and our great principal. He's been helping me throughout the whole journey, and yeah, thank you.
My name is Everett Roberts. I am also a triplet. My parents, Kathy and Andrew Roberts, I really want to thank them the most, because they really pushed me to see just how far I could go. And they proved that even my expectations, which I initially set were high, they proved that I could go even higher. And I also want to thank Gadsden City Schools, because if not for them, I wouldn't be half the student I am today. They're amazing teachers, and what am I thinking? Sports. Oh yeah, there's sports. It helped me to be not only a good student, but also an athlete, so I was really able to balance both my athletic and student life. And so I think that, combined with my parents, would really set me up for a successful future. Thank you.
My name is Denton, and I'm blessed to be here today. I just want to thank God for allowing me to have the privilege to be here. I want to thank my parents, who unfortunately couldn't be here, but I felt them every step of the way. Their expectations and yelling definitely has helped me be the man I am today. I want to thank all three triplets for pushing me, even when I faltered. And I want to thank my little sister and my dog Bubbles. Thank you.
Well, just a real quick thank you to the families and to these guys. These are in my district, and I remember the day the triplets came home from the hospital. Our families, the Roberts family, are very close, good friends, and y'all, they're even better than what you're seeing. I'm telling you, these are the cream of the crop, all three of these guys, and the other triplet. By the way, I'm not a triplet. There's enough of me for a triplet, but I'm just by myself. But these guys are the epitome of what Gadsden City High School is doing. But I want to tell you, there's a lot more at Gadsden City High School that are outstanding young people, and I think our future, not only in Gadsden, is bright because of folks like you. I think the whole town, the whole county, the whole state, our future is bright. Our young people are doing well. Our school system, Mr. Young, is serving us very well. So thank you very much, and thank you, families.
So this is our next city attorney, and this is our next mayor, and our next president of the council. So. Yeah.
Look over here first for me, if you will. Hey, count of three. 1, 2, 3. And then one more. 1, 2, 3.
Lee, you want a picture?
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Nitin. Hey, real quick, I just want to say I just want to say to the Roberts boys out there, I'm going to tell you what I told Lee's son when he was here getting his recognition going to an Ivy League school a few years ago. I think the real testament to your accomplishment is overcoming the tremendous adversity of having Lee Roberts as an uncle in your life. So congratulations on that.
That's right. Thank you, Mayor Ford. Thank you, families. All right, this takes us to item number 8 in our agenda. It's unfinished business. This is item 8A is an ordinance authorizing conveyance of property located at 3610 Georgia Avenue in District 6. This was presented last week for first reading. William Graves has offered $1,000 for the property. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 8B is an ordinance authorizing sale of property located at 1308 Airport Industrial Drive in District 6. This ordinance was also presented last week for first reading. Kelly Auto Auction LLC has shown interest in purchasing the property in the amount of $250,000, and this authorizes the mayor to negotiate and consummate the sale of the property. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 8C is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property at 235 North 6th Street in District 3. This resolution was tabled for 30 days on January 17th. There is a recommendation from the building official to adopt the resolution. What is the pleasure of the council?
So, Mr. President, I'm going to ask for another table. I failed to get with Mr. Harbison on the reason why, so I will come back or at discussion, I can discuss it, or I can take that moment now. But I will ask for a 30-day table on this item again.
Okay, there's been a motion for 30-day table. Is there a second?
Second.
All right.
All right.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for an additional 30 days, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table for 30 days.
Item 8D is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property at 502 Henry Street in District 3. This resolution was tabled for 30 days on January 17th. There is a recommendation from the building official to adopt the resolution. What is the pleasure of the council?
Okay. Mr. President, on this property, I will ask for a motion to abate, but if I can go back to the previous to discuss real briefly. So the reason why we're doing this is because we are registering this property with the state. We have already talked with the state representative concerning our historical sites, and this is a historical site in the city of Gadsden. This is one of the hotels, black hotels, that was in the Green Book, or that is still listed in the Green Book, where when during segregation that blacks could live or eat in particular places and spaces throughout the country. This is one that we have in Gadsden. There's another one on 9th Street, and so whereas we will be looking to register quite a bit of these sites in District 3, so that's the reason why. So it's not to that me and the building department is fighting against each other. It's because we are trying to register this property, which then in results there are some funds that could save this property. So if we can get that done and save this property, then we have another historical site in our district and in the city. But on the current, I do move to abate.
Thank you. Second. All right, is there any discussion on item 8D? All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 8E is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property at 124 Washington Street in District 3. This resolution was tabled for 7 days on February 14th. There is a recommendation from the building official to adopt the resolution. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President, on this one, I will ask for another 7 days. I do have some questions for the building department for a potential investor, so I'll ask for another 7-day extension.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for an additional 7 days, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table for 7 days.
Item 9, this is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property located at 1300 East Broad Street in District 2, Kenneth L. Robinson, in care of Fanny Robinson, being the last known owner. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Okay, sir, if you'll come to the podium down front here. And sir, if you will, for our records, would you state your name and your address, please?
My name is Kenneth L. Robinson. I live at 1300 East Broad Street.
Thank you.
And I come today to see what I need to do. Y'all was saying that abating in a nuisance.
Okay, so you're not aware of what's going on at the property?
Well, I'm not aware because I'm a scrap man.
Yes, sir.
And by being a scrap man I want to know what I need to do.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Harbison, rather, will speak next, and he'll go into that, and then I think that might give you the information that you're looking for. Does anybody have any other questions, or Mr. Robinson, do you have any other comments?
Know about only comment I have is what I need to do.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Become a scrap man.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Does anyone wish to speak in favor?
Mr. President, I'm Brian Greer with the Building Department. This is a trash and debris nuisance case that you have before you. We started this case December the 29th, 2021. We've taken this case to city court. We still have no resolution to the case. We're asking today that you give us a resolution to abate this nuisance.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. We're passing the picture around. Let everybody have time to look at those pictures. Councilman Smith, do you have any? I see. That's
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Harbison, Mr. Greer. I'm going to request a 30-day table. Let me just have a little time to get with Mr. Robinson about this particular property. So I'm requesting a 30-day table today.
okay. Table for 30 days.
Thank you.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for 30 days, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries to table for 30 days.
Mr. Robinson, just so you know, Councilman Smith, who is the councilman in the district where you live, has asked for the resolution to be tabled for 30 days, and he's going to speak, I'm sure, with the building department, and will probably speak with you. Do you have contact information, Councilman Smith?
I do not, but I know how to get in touch with him.
Okay, all
Thank
right,
you.
great.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
So, people, Councilman Smith will be in touch with you shortly, okay? Thank you. Just want to make sure y'all knew. All right, item 10 on the agenda. Our next public hearing is a resolution assessing nuisance abatement lien against property located at 303 Miller Street in District 6, Betty Joyce Gregory being the last known owner. This is for demolition work that has already been performed, and the amount is $3,015. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone wish to speak in favor? The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
I make a motion to adopt.
Okay.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 11, excuse me, our final public hearing is a resolution, I'm sorry. So you're the new owner of 303? Okay. I would suggest, we've already passed it and voted, but that doesn't mean that it happens this afternoon. So, Mr. Harbison, however you want to, if you would speak with Mr. Harbison, I'm sure he'd be glad to get with you. And thank you for being the new owner, and hope we can work that out for you, okay?
And that one's actually just a lane.
Yeah, that's just a
It's
lane.
already
Yeah.
knocked
So,
down, we're just-
thank you, sir. All right, item number 11, our final public hearing is a resolution approving issuance of an alcoholic beverage license. Jasmine's Grill and Cantina LLC has applied for a lounge retail liquor license at 221 South 3rd Street in District 4. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone wish to speak in favor? What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations, Ms. Jasmine. This is exciting. She's already a small business owner in this community, so this will
Right.
be another one under her belt. So I wish you all the best of success.
I echo that, Jasmine. Thank you for your investment in the city of Gadsden, and especially in District 4, which is my district, so thank you very much. Look forward to having you there. All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 12 is a resolution accepting conveyance of property located at 1205 Dwight Avenue. The owners have offered to donate this property to the city. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 13 is a resolution amending rental rates for various facilities of the Parks and Recreation Department. This updates the rates to be more consistent with those charged in other locales. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Mr. President, I'm going to ask for a table for this resolution at least for 7 days to give a more thorough discussion with facilities concerning in District 3.
Okay, all right. There's a motion to table for 7 days. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it. I don't have any problem waiting 7 days, I guess.
All
But
right.
this is, just to be clear, Councilman Avery, this is specifically concerned, your only concerns are with the Carver
Community.
Center?
Yep.
And how much, what that rental rate will be?
It'll be the Carver Center and then the groups that are attached to the Carver Center.
Okay, so, again, that's your only concern, though? You're
Correct.
okay with everything else?
Yeah, nothing else in anyone else's district, any
Okay.
other facilities, just Carver.
Yeah, I don't have an objection to tabling it for 7 days.
All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for 7 days, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table for 7 days.
Item 14 is a resolution authorizing agreement with CDG Incorporated. This is for engineering services concerning the construction of a fueling facility at Coosa Landing, and the amount is $55,000. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Is there any discussion?
Is Heath in the room? Yeah, Heath, any idea on the timeline on this project? Am I gonna be able to fill my boat up this summer?
Partially.
Okay.
So this project requires a couple of components. One, we want to put a dispenser in the parking lot, which we hope to get in operation by this summer. So as long as it's on the trailer, you can.
Dang it.
But as long as we can get the supplies that are pretty much in short supply, as long as we can get those on hand and everything in place. The other component for the dispenser that'll be located on the dock requires a much more extensive permitting process through
Yeah.
Alabama Power and FERC. That's likely going to be more along the
Next
lines
year.
of next year.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But another reason why we wanted to use both dispensers, to try to help as much as possible in short term.
Can't you just get a real long hose on that one that's in the parking lot?
You probably could, but I think they would frown upon that,
Yeah.
so.
My question would be is, I know that we passed some resolutions for the fishing tournaments. Will it be available around that time?
So I know we have a variety of fishing tournaments, and I don't know all those dates. Mainly early summer, as soon as we get this passed, design gets completed, and the materials can get installed, we're gonna get it in there as quick as we can. But I don't know in relation to all those dates.
Well, I think some of those tournaments run through November of this year.
To my knowledge, I think they run through the year.
Yeah.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
We have the motion.
We've already got a motion. We have a second? Second. That seemed like so long ago.
Yeah.
All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 15 is a resolution authorizing agreement with CDP Design LLC. This is for architectural services relating to construction of a new trolley transfer station on North Fifth Street between Locust Street and Meagan Boulevard. The amount is $39,802. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 16 is a resolution authorizing agreement with Goodwin Mills Kaywood LLC. This is for design services required to complete the reconstruction renovation of the Nakalula Falls Campground, and the amount is $638,000. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Just to add some context here, I mean, this is an awesome project, but I think they're gonna totally redo the layout of the campground. They're adding a new swimming pool with a zero entry swimming pool. I think they're converting one of the existing office buildings up there into a rentable cabin. Just several upgrades to the infrastructure on the campground, which already makes the city a ton of money, so that's awesome.
It does. That's much needed improvements. Thankful to the mayor's office for bringing this to our attention. All right, let's see, where am I?
We're ready to vote.
Ready to vote, aren't we? Clerk, will you take that vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 17 is a resolution authorizing agreement with Thomas M. McElrath. This is for architectural and engineering services to construct a new fire station, number 5, at Nakalula Falls, and the amount is $92,500. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 18 is a resolution authorizing agreement with Thomas M. McElrath. This is for architectural and engineering services to construct a new fire station, number 8, at the corner of Riley Street and Rainbow Drive, and the amount is $175,000. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I would like to just offer and point out, Heath, I'll ask you to talk about these just for a second, but these are two very old fire stations. We discussed these at pre-council meeting, which is not televised, so I feel a need when we're spending money that we should let everybody know what we're doing. That's updated to these two fire stations. The one at Nakalula Falls, Heath, tell us about how the outside is going to be more conducive to Nakalula Falls.
Yes, sir. So the
the core.
Nakalula station, while the general layout will follow the Banks Park station that we recently replaced, we call Fire Station number 7. The facade on the Nakalula station will be designed to be consistent with the overall upgrades which are ongoing at the park now. If everyone saw the Design Alabama documents that were endorsed by this council, there's some more additional corridor improvements that we're also on the verge of starting along that area as well. But the Nakalula station itself, while I said the layout will be the same, it will actually have a police precinct on one end, and then the facade will look more like a log cabin feel with some rock facade, like you see at the beginning of, or the entry pavilion, the Kiwanis Pavilion, some of those structures that have been recently upgraded over the last several years. So we're excited about that one.
All right, and tell us about with Mr. McElrath and his design of the Station 7, how we've been able to piggyback on that to save money on these two.
Absolutely, we were appreciative of that. Certainly wasn't a requirement, but Mr. McElrath gave us the benefit of or the financial benefit of being able to reuse, or he's being able to reuse several of his design documents. And so he's giving us the benefit of that by reducing his fees 30% on the portions that he can. Obviously, several portions with the police precinct adding or addition to that are new designs, but where he could take advantage of it or allow us to, he did. So we appreciate that. That did lower the design fee.
I appreciate you helping us with that. And speak to the police precincts. On the new fire stations, we're going to add a police substation, is that right?
Yes, sir. As we work that out, I know it'll be a police presence. The initial understanding, it'll be on the end of one of the buildings, or depending on how we orient the building on the site, which we've yet to completely design. We're starting that process now. But it will have a police presence, some cameras, just the ability for residents to come up. And then as we program that out, we'll certainly be able to detail it a good bit more.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Councilman?
Yes,
or
sir.
Mr.
Councilman
President, just to expound on that a little bit, these police precincts, the Public Safety Committee is in the process of putting together a trip to Oxford. We're working with Tina King in the mayor's office to try to put that together, to go observe their security camera system that they've installed throughout several parts of Oxford that allow them to observe. This is a reactive measure, not a proactive measure. If there's a crime or some sort of incident, the police department has the resource to be able to go back and look at these cameras to track, let's say, if there's a hit and run or a robbery, they can actually use this network of cameras throughout the city to track the route of a specific vehicle, to determine where it's going, if it's fleeing the scene of a crime, what direction it's fleeing in. So we're working on putting together a trip to Oxford to meet with their police department to observe how these systems work. So it's my understanding that these local fire stations that we're building that will have that police precinct will actually house those camera systems potentially, to where you can have someone there monitoring your community pretty much 24/7, and to be able to have that as a resource in case there's again, an incident of some kind. So that'll be a great step into the 21st century for Gadsden.
And that sounds good. Thanks for that information. Any other comments? If not, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
All right, item 19 is a resolution authorizing agreement with Sunbelt Fire Incorporated. This is for the purchase of one E1 HP 75 Quint on an E1 Typhoon chassis, and the amount is $1 million, $19,956. You know, this is a fire truck. I'm using terms that are listed here, but this is for a new fire truck. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I have some, but I think I'll save it for the next one, which
Okay.
is related to it.
All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 20 comes under a first reading. This is an ordinance amending the American Rescue Plan budget. This is related to item number 19 on the agenda and amends the ARP budget established by ordinance number 0-11-21 by transferring $1,019,956 from the Broad Street Bridge account to the motor vehicles account. This ordinance has been presented today for first reading, and the council will vote on it next week. All right, then item 21 is new business.
Yes, Council President, I, as well as Councilman Avery, have several pieces of new business that I would like to request that we suspend the rules and consider under new business. So if you wouldn't mind, I would request that we suspend the rules to consider all four of these, although we will discuss and vote on each one of them individually.
All right.
So I'll make that motion.
Been a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right, second. Clerk, will you take the vote?
All righty, and if I'm not mistaken, we have 2 resolutions and 2 ordinances.
Let's see.
Is that correct?
Yes, so
My two are resolution.
Resolution 090, Ordinance 100, Ordinance 099, and Resolution 096.
Okay.
And Councilman Avery, well, he'll get to, you want to?
You had 4?
No, that's including
Okay.
yours. I'm just asking for,
got
to
you.
suspend the rules so we can do them all, and then you can read yours, and then I'll read the 3 that I have.
Did you say 090?
Yeah, that's the first one I said.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, there's been a motion, we had the second?
Yes.
Second, all right. I think Councilman Avery had a second.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Yes. Those in favor to consider 2 resolutions and 2 ordinances under new business today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have a unanimous vote for consideration of the 4 items.
Councilman Avery, you want to go ahead with yours?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I actually have 3 different, well, it's actually 2 ordinances and a resolution. I'll start with a resolution that came to us from the Gadsden Etowah Industrial Development Authority, and this is to authorize the acquisition of a parcel of property from the airport authority. And again, before the internet breaks, I want to say this has nothing to do with poultry. It has nothing to do with food, but this is another very exciting business that we've recruited to the area that we hope to be able to land. That's going to be a really awesome project and non-controversial, in my opinion, in any way. So in order to do that, we actually have to purchase the property from the airport authority, the city of Gadsden does, and then start an extensive process of requesting approval from the FAA to locate this manufacturing facility on the property. So with that said, I would ask for a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries to adopt.
Council President, the next 2 are ordinances that came to us from the Gadsden Land Bank Authority. For those of you who are familiar with the program, the Gadsden Land Bank Authority is able to not only manage properties, abandoned properties that the city owns currently, they also have the ability to acquire properties from the state of Alabama that may be owned by the state for tax liens in the past that have never been settled. So we have been working, and Chamberlain Parker and the rest of the crew at the Gadsden Land Bank Authority recently recruited a group out of Virginia, I believe, right, Chamberlain, or Virginia, called Greenbrier, and these guys are going to come in with a lofty goal of building several new single-family homes in our community. And so as part of this deal, we'll be selling them a couple of the pieces of property that the city already owns, or conveying that property to them, a couple of these vacant lots for them to build their first 2 homes of what hopefully is many new homes, affordable houses in this community. So what I've got here is 2 separate ordinances, ordinance 2023-099 and 2023-100, which are conveyances of property at 613 Polk Street and 1009 Vincent Avenue from the Gadsden Land Bank Authority to Greenbrier Investment Group. And I would ask for approval.
Second.
All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt both ordinances, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries to adopt both.
Mr. President, I have one that is requested by the Revenue Department, and this one is needed for immediate action because there is a date situation on this, Lee, was that correct?
The event is in-
Yeah, the event's this week, so
Yeah,
we
okay,
wouldn't have
right.
time to approve it next week.
All right, so this is a resolution approving issuance of a special event license for Smokehouse 227. So I'll move to recommend that be done today.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries to adopt.
All right, is that all for new business?
So.
Okay. Item 22 is department reports, committees, or boards. Do we have any of those? Okay. Item 23 is a citizen request to speak. Very honored and very pleased to have our own Devrick Williams speak today. This is in reference to the Coach Rudolph Foundation. As Mr. Williams makes his way up, Devrick, I'm going to try to repeat what I said this morning. I'm going to call him Councilman. Councilman Williams fathers, Rudolph Williams, those of us that are old enough to know that name knows what that means. That means a great athlete, and then later in life, a great coach. And so it's really an honor to have his son, Derrick Williams, come back today. Derrick served 3 terms on our city council, and he has created a foundation, his family has, for his dad, and he's got some good news for us today in regards to the foundation. Derrick, welcome home.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Council President Beck. I appreciate it. Had to take care of the most important business first.
That's right.
Can't be in Iva's presence without touching an angel, so definitely had to do that. Thank you to the council and the mayor, his staff, and all of the city officials and elected officials. I do appreciate the opportunity to be here today. What does a former elected official do in his spare time? Or should I say an old washed up former elected official do in their spare time? Well, you support a cause that you're passionate about. And so I'll give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Ivor, please turn the clock off. It might take me a minute. So, but in 2020, we received the news that my father had been diagnosed with leukemia, with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL. This news hit our family pretty hard, as you can imagine, but instead of allowing this news to overcome us, we chose to focus on how we could carry forth things that he was passionate about. And so obviously he was passionate about youth sports, so we took an opportunity to memorialize that passion in the form of a foundation. We took our cues to a large degree from groups like Ferguson and Son, the Ferguson and Sons Foundation. Kevin Ferguson is here today. The 21 Kids Foundation that was founded by Dre Kirkpatrick, and a number of others that had been doing similar work. But I'll tell you a story. My father, his work in youth sports didn't just start yesterday, didn't start with Quest for Excellence, as most people may remember him. It started some time ago, probably in 1977. A little kid decided he was going to go out for baseball for the first time. And he ended up getting cut. And he cried. He cried, like real tears. He cried. And my father couldn't stand it, so he picked the kid up and took him to Atala and put him on a team, asked the coach, hey, if you'll let him play, I'll suit him up. I'll buy his uniform. And the coach said, well, it's a little bit too late to order him a hat. What about a hat? He said, I'll get that too. We'll get everything. And so the Atala JCs, as they were known at that time, allowed this little kid to join the team, and he proceeded to bat about 11 times that year, and he struck out every time he batted. But the great story about that little kid is that he went out again the very next year and made the All-Star team, and also became an MVP on that All-Star team, and went on to play and become a very good baseball player and a very good athlete in general. That little kid was me. That little kid was me. He didn't stop there. He took that same energy to advocate for those underrepresented and underserved kids. He took a team of kids who had either been cut or through parental politics couldn't participate in a youth team, or just didn't have the money. Parents didn't have the money. And he formed one team full of those kids. And those kids competed at a high level because they were hungry. And there was such a need for those kinds of kids to be supported that he created an entire league of those kinds of kids, a league of about 8 teams. And that's the Quest for Excellence program that many of us remember. And so this, for me, this really is an initiative. This is a passion that you gotta carry on. Even today, it's probably worse. I'm not here to demonize travel ball. I'm not here to demonize any particular league or any of that. I mean, if your parents and your family have the capacity to let you participate, by all means, because that's the way the landscape is set up right now. But wow, there are some amazingly gifted young people who are getting left out because they can't financially participate in travel ball and some of the leagues that are out there. And you know, I'm going to embarrass him. Lee Roberts is sitting right there as an example.
I've been doing it all day. Go ahead.
It's easy to do, isn't it? But Lee Roberts is sitting there as an example of somebody who has kind of stepped up individually and filled that void many times. He doesn't talk about it publicly, but he just does it. He stepped up a number of times to fill that void. Councilman Back's done it, and I'm sure there are others I don't know about. But that's really one of the purposes and the main purposes of this initiative. One other quick story, and then I'll get to the presentation. But many of you may know Coach James Graves, who's the head coach at Etowah High School, the head basketball coach, getting ready to compete in the Elite Eight tomorrow in Jacksonville. Coach Graves never played an inning of high school baseball. Not one single inning. But Coach Graves went on to Troy State at the time, and proceeded to make honorable mention All-American and compete in the College World Series. Again, while not playing an inning of high school baseball. Why didn't he play high school baseball? Parental politics. Didn't have the right person on the board, didn't have the right kind of parents, he just didn't fit. Just didn't fit in the process. Coach Graves was inspired by Coach Rudolph because he coached him as a Little League player. And he saw as a Little League player that made honorable mention All-American as a college player. So these board members that are here today, and the board members that weren't able to be here all have some connection to Coach Rudolph, whether it's somebody that he supported or whether it's somebody that he had the ability to coach. They've all partnered with us to develop a mission and help us to carry out this mission. And our goal is every year, maybe not at this level, but every year we're going to make a contribution either to the City Parks and Rec Department or to some notable youth group that can help us drive youth sports initiatives, and specifically to make sure that we ensure that this money helps kids who need the help the most. There are a lot of kids out there who don't necessarily need the help. Their parents are going to make sure they can participate. And so we're going to work very closely with the Parks and Rec Department. Darrell is here, and he and Jen Wethington have graciously committed to helping us to make sure. They don't always have the mechanisms to filter out who needs the help and who's not. So we're going to come up with a mechanism to make sure that we can target the kids that need the help the most. And of course, we'll be working with the school systems as well and many other public service agencies to get the help to the folks that need it the most. So thank you guys for supporting. Just very quickly, I want to point out and highlight a couple of the key donors. In this first round of supporting, the check that you see here, some of the key supporters were Dr. G. Michael Shihai, Coach James Graves and Sabrina Morgan Graves, and Reverend Harold Kimball. So they were really supported. Dr. Shihai was one of the first to write us a check. And then in round two, of course, one of the first that stepped up is Councilman Steve Smith in District 2, and many of the other council members and the mayor's office has supported as well. So we are very appreciative of this platform to have the opportunity to tell the world about the initiative, and we definitely appreciate you guys and your support. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Deverick. Thank you so much.
and we brought a big check with us. And this check is for $5,000 from the Coach Rudolph Foundation. One thing I'd like to note, you see this logo or this image on the check. That's an image of Coach Rudolph when he was about 28 years old. And that was actually drawn by, at the time, an 11-year-old artist.
Since the mayor's had to go to the meeting, I'll step in on him.
Thank you so much for your support.
I look forward to many more of those success stories, Deverick, and over the years to come. And thank you to your board for such great support. Councilman Smith, thank you. All right, we go to item 24, remarks by the mayor and council. Start to my left with Councilwoman Minatra. Put you on the spot. You're first. I'm sorry.
I know.
Jump ball.
Well, I just wanted to highlight something that I know all of us that are football fans enjoyed the Super Bowl. My team didn't win, but something that you may not have seen was, I would call it a pre-game. And if you have a moment and you just want to feel good about the American flag, Google Super Bowl 57 and the Ragged Old Cross as narrated by Johnny Cash. And you might need some Kleenex, but it was the best part of the Super Bowl. So I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.
Thank you. Councilman Wilson.
Yeah, I've got actually a couple of things to discuss here, but number one, I want to start by saying thank you, Councilman Williams. It's unbelievable what you do, and I will renew a call that I made a year ago for us to name the Champions Special Needs Park at the Gadsden Sports Park, the Special Needs Field, the Rudolph Williams Champions Field, and I think that needs to happen. Having said that, I want to share with you guys some more good news. So Habitat for Humanity has just announced that they will be hosting 3 different community meetings that will be focused on bridging the gap to home ownership. Thankfully, actually because of the previous administration, as part of our allocation of the American Rescue Plan funds, we were able to fund, Councilman Williams was part of that group, we were able to fund $250,000 to the Habitat for Humanity group. And what that means is this year they'll be able to construct 4 new homes. Typically they do 1 a year, and this year they're going to be able to do 4 homes because of that contribution from the city. So tonight at the East Gadsden Community Center at 6 p.m. and then again on March the 21st at 6 p.m. at the Carver Community Center, and then again on April the 18th at Gadsden City High School. Habitat for Humanity will host this course on bridging the gap to home ownership. Gadsden Etowah Habitat for Humanity is holding these 3 meetings, again, focused on affordable housing in Gadsden. Like the city, Habitat is focused on growth this year. Our goal is to build 4 or 5 houses in 2023, which is considerably more than we've built in the past. The value of this will reach almost every category of community living and areas that are most important to all of the citizens of Gadsden: health, education, jobs, safe communities. The impact of affordable housing is broad. Families are 18% less likely to go to the ER. Students are 34% more likely to go to college, and residency rates increase by 77% with affordable housing. I mean, those are dramatic numbers. Gadsden residents are more likely to stay in Gadsden, work in Gadsden, and build generational wealth in this community. The meetings will detail the benefits of being a homeowner and the process to become a homeowner through the Habitat program, but more importantly, it will give hope to residents, let them know that residents can become homeowners and that Habitat's here to help make that happen for everyone who qualifies. So this is from Sarah Meehan, the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity. So I encourage you guys all to go out Again, the first of these 3 meetings is tonight at the new East Gadsden Community Center, and they'll walk you through step by step what to do to qualify for one of those programs. The only other thing I have is I just want to thank, a lot of y'all have probably seen on the internet and in the newspapers this ongoing conversation about the occupational tax and a potential piece of legislation that could be introduced soon. And I just want to thank the mayor for stepping out in front and kind of taking it on the chin and really picking up the flag and running with this conversation. And sometimes these can be really stressful debates when you start talking about taxpayers' monies. And Mayor Ford has just gone above and beyond to educate himself on what this means for our city and the catastrophic impact it could have if this bill is haphazardly passed through without consideration. So I just want to thank the mayor and his office for their leadership. In fact, right now, the reason the mayor's not sitting here like he usually is he's actually upstairs now in his office with every other mayor in Etowah County, meeting with Senator Andrew Jones to try to work out a resolution on that. So it's really a breath of fresh air to have somebody in the mayor's office that that is up to the fight, and I appreciate his efforts. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Avery.
Thank you, Mr. President. So thank you, Jason, for the Habitat for Humanity announcement. That was one of mine as well. Gadsden State Community College Valley Street Campus, HBCU, will be having their Black History program tomorrow, February the 22nd, from 12:30 to 1:30. There will be a tour of the campus, the programs that they provide, collaboration with Gadsden Job Corps, and Gadsden State Show Band will be there, and the topic is Educate, Encourage, and Engage Today's Students. Carver Community Revitalization Committee will have its 3rd annual Black History Celebration February the 25th, 5 p.m. The guest speaker will be Ruth Moffitt, and the guest performance will be Alabama A&M Bulldogs from the Hill Mass Choir. Tickets are contributions request is $20 with meal and $10 without meal. I want to go into personal thanks to Jarrell Harris, who took up his time, came home to do a financial literacy event that we had downtown on this past Sunday. We had quite a big group, a lot of business owners compared to residents, as we also looked over some of the Gadsden Land Bank property also. So we want to thank him for that. We thank the residents and the business owners that came out and fellowshiped with us. Thank you, former Councilman Williams, with the story, the legacy and honoring of your dad. You talked about underrepresented and poor and communities and those people that lived in those communities, which brings me to the ARP funds and the way that some of those funds have been allocated. There are priorities for spending physical recovery funds. While there are many important steps states and other governments can take with those physical recovery funds, the following options are particularly high priority. In large part, that's because they would have substantial long-term benefits for Black and brown communities, as well as for low-income people and the economic of a whole, especially if states and other governments combine their short-term physical recovery funds expenditures with revenue-raising policies that allow investments to be sustained in the future. I am saying this so that we can be conscious and mindful of communities that are underrepresented and that funds have not been properly or fairly allocated. We have communities that are in desperate need to look like other communities to make our city a whole. And so that's why I begin to be on a soapbox day in and day out on Tuesdays concerning our communities and funding, the way that our funds are allocated. And so with that said, I am in support of the fire department. I am in support support, as I've showed today, of the resolution that has been passed to purchase the vehicle. We have done many projects on a organization level with the fire department, still do some, and as a representative, I will continue to do so. But I also want our black and brown communities represented also with funds that are allocated or that could be allocated and due to those communities as well as low-income communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Avery. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the mayor's office, the council, all the staff here at City Hall that do what you do every single day. We appreciate you. Just want to let you know that. I want to just say to my friend Councilman Williams, we appreciate every chance I get him. I always tell him thank you for the 3 terms and the great work that he's done here in the city and that he continues to do. We just really appreciate you so very much. And I just want to thank you for the friendship. We went to Kansas City a few months ago, and President Back, he said he was going to really show me who Derrick Williams is. I said, we went to church together 20 years. We lived on the same street. We know each other. But the point he was making was a lot of us know Councilman Williams on the local level. But to President Back's point, I got a chance to know who he is on the national level. I met so many people in Kansas City. I'll meet a whole lot more when we go to Washington next month that really, really, really loves Councilman Williams, that has a relationship with him. And so I had to take advantage of this moment to tell him thank you for what you continue to do through the Coach Rudolph Foundation. We're proud of you. We appreciate you. Every time I see him, I ask him, are you ready to come back yet? And he always tells me the same thing. So anyway, I wanted to say that. Listen, don't forget in District 2, our church, New Destiny, will be hosting a Kingdom Expo on Sunday. On Sunday after church at 1 p.m., we're having a health fair. Our own doctors, our hematologists, oncologists, nephrologists, kidney doctor, anesthesiologists, along with quality of life. We're partnering Sunday for some screenings that's going to be going on Sunday. Also, we're going to be having a job fair. I mean, people will be hiring on the spot. We got several employees who will be on location Sunday at New Destiny right here in North Gadsden. So we want to make people aware that food trucks, vendors, fashion show, all this going on after church. We got to reach people and empower people right there where they are. W.E.B. Du Bois said it is amazing that people who once time were property themselves are shouting freedom but don't own any. So we got to empower our people and to help everybody to be able to be the best that they can be. And really live the American dream. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Councilwoman Latham.
Thank you, Council President Beck. Let me just say thank you to Councilman Williams for your continued service to the city and to the young people of the city. Thank you very much. I would like to announce that on March the 8th, District 1 will be having their first district meeting at the East Gadsden Community Center. So we encourage those of you who live in District 1 to come out. We are anticipating our department heads and others to be there with us. So thank you in advance. That's March the 8th at East Gadsden Community Center at 6 o'clock, and you will begin to see correspondence for that starting this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Latham. I'll start with Derrick. Thank you so much, and thank you for the example of honoring your father. And I think that should be noted that you're stepping up to honor your dad. He's highly deserving of all that you're doing, but I know it means a lot to you. We've talked about it, so I'm proud of you. And I did get to brag on you a little bit out in Kansas City. You had shepherded me around for 4 years, and I met some of your buddies, and when I would see them, if I was with Councilman Smith, I would hesitantly, I didn't want to say this is who took Derrick Williams' place, but I would, but I was introducing Councilman Smith, and I mean, the guy's a legend. What can I say? I mean, that's just the truth. So you were missed in Kansas City by your friends, and so I'm sure you're probably staying in touch with some of them. But man, come back anytime. We look forward to hearing updates of the foundation, and best of luck in that endeavor. I've had a District 4 community meeting canceled last Thursday, due to the inclement weather that didn't really come. So I took one for the team. You know, had I not canceled the meeting, it would have been horrendous rain or whatever, but I did cancel the meeting, erring on the side of safety, and of course it didn't even rain, I don't think, at Your Brown Elementary School where the meeting was to be held. So we're looking at rescheduling possibly for 2 Thursdays from now. We were going to try to have it this coming Thursday, but as you might know and have seen, there is a town hall meeting at the venue this coming Thursday at 5 o'clock, 5 to 7 is what's advertised. And this is, Mayor Ford has called this town hall meeting. There's going to be different people there to speak on behalf of the occupational license fee, which is called sometimes occupational tax. And just to let that be a chance for the public to hear and to know firsthand what that means if that were to go away. And I echo Councilman Wilson's remarks. You know, y'all, we inherited this structure of city government. 1950s is when the tax first started, and so it's hard to get that toothpaste back in the tube once that happens. So if I were to create a new city today, would I create the funding structure like it is? Maybe, probably not, but it is what it is, and we have to work with what we've been in what we have inherited. So I urge all citizens to contact State Senator Andrew Jones. I urge all citizens to be at the venue Thursday night, 5 o'clock, to hear and to express your opinion as well. It's very important. And we scheduled our meeting today to start at the pre-council at 1 o'clock and the council at 2 o'clock, so we could all attend the groundbreaking ceremony at Gadsden State Community College for the Advanced Manufacturing Technology Center. Y'all, there's 5 of these being built in the state of Alabama. Gadsden State's campus here in Gadsden was selected for one of the 5. It's about a $35 million project, and it is going to be a life-changing project for not only the city of Gadsden, but all of Etowah County and the surrounding counties. It's going to be able to train our students and our workforce for tomorrow's jobs today. You have to think of how fast things are changing. I say all the time, imagine, you know, how fast a cell phone changes. I hate getting a new cell phone because then it takes me a month to learn how to work the new cell phone. The technology in jobs is changing just that fast. And if you are sitting still, you're behind. We're about to not be sitting still when this manufacturing center gets built. Dean Smith, Alan Smith at the college is exactly who we need to be kind of heading that program up. Dr. Murphy, our new community college president, is doing just a fabulous job leading that college. And so it's just a great day for Gadsden as that as that technology center is launched. It's going to change the face of our community, and it's going to provide jobs and job training for decades to come. So that was very exciting for us to be there, to be a part of that groundbreaking ceremony. If there's not anything else left, we will stand adjourned. Have a good day.